So boys, another weekend of Premier League action has come to an end. Manchester City winning, Arsenal with a massive win away in the North London derby. However, Liverpool experiencing a shock loss to Nottingham Forest. The question is, boys, are we already veering towards a two-team title race this early in the season? Alright, let's take a step back for a second, man, alright? I don't want all the Liverpool fans coming at me going, Jack, what are you on about, man? We're 4 games into the season. Now, Liverpool boys, listen, right? A lot of you boys watched my Premier League predictions video a few weeks ago, and Arsenal are my title winners, right? And then I actually think I put Liverpool in second, City in third, so I do think that'll be the other way around looking at it now. I think City, if I'm to predict Arsenal will be the title winners, I think City second, Arsenal or Liverpool third now. But the reason, boys, I wanted to make today's video was the fact that I'm not going to sit here after 4 Premier League games and say, right, it's going to be a 2-team title race. I think Arsenal and Man City are a level above Liverpool, and this is Arne Slot's first season. A lot of Liverpool fans I've talked to in our community have said, you know, Jack, I'll be happy with us getting 4th place this year, you know, a Champions League finish under Slot's first season. He's played his first 3 games for the international break. Obviously Liverpool were perfect, 3 wins from 3, obviously beating my team Manchester United before the break. They obviously take a shock 1-0 loss at home at Anfield to Nottingham Forest at the weekend, man, and that's kind of, and potentially that might have put some doubts in people's heads about where Liverpool are at. But I mean, I think, listen, it is a one-off game. It is a one-off game. You know, you don't certainly expect Liverpool, the quality of the players they've got and the way they're playing under Slot so far, as early as it is, to be losing a game like that, no doubts. But as I say, you boys are going to get this video on Monday night, which is the day after Arsenal have just beat Tottenham 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it's games like that where you really do see, in my opinion, you know, where these teams are going to be at down the line in the season. You know, as I say, people could say it's only 1 game, and Arsenal fans will say this better than anyone, man. I mean, look how perfect you got to be to win a Premier League title these days, right? As I say, Arsenal fans, they know as well as anyone right now after the last 2 seasons. Liverpool know it as well from previous seasons where they, the 97-point season, and Man City finished on 98, missing narrowly by a point. Any other season, you win a league title for that. You know what I'm saying? So, nowadays, how competitive, you know, the Premier League is and how strong the top 2 or 3 teams are, you really do got to be near on perfect, boys, if you want to win the league. You know, you don't have to go 30, no, of course not, but yeah, you can't be dropping points, boys, in games that you shouldn't be. You know, if you're the likes of an Arsenal or a Liverpool, because we know how good City are and how near perfect they are. Arsenal, right, they've already dropped points at Brighton, and Brighton are a good opponent, right? But I feel like if Arsenal dropped points against Spurs there at the weekend, if they did, they'd be looking at that obviously as 2 more points dropped and more kind of, you know, ground then that have to make up with Man City, right? Because obviously Man City are perfect right now, 4 wins from 4, flying top of the league. And I mean, I questioned before the season, boys, how hungry are Man City going to be, man? We know their players are world class, we know Pep's world class, you know, he's the best manager in world football in my opinion, and you know, you sit there and think, with all that, yeah, of course they can win the league again, but like, and they've got incredible drive, of course, and their players are so professional, but like, you know, they've won it all now. So many of the players have won it all. How are they really going to have that insane drive to go again and again and again? Well, they're proving us, man. They're proving it again this season. They've won all their games so far. Haaland is absolutely just destroying the league. His goal record this season, boys, is crazy as well. I mean, it always is, you know, but another season, another, what, many goals has Haaland scored this season so far? It's just mental, man. But yeah, as I say, my point with today's video, boys, listen, it's certainly not a 2-team title race right now. We're not going to have a 2-team title race until, I believe, after Christmas. Liverpool, as I say, I think they're going to be in and around there because they're certainly going to pick up more and more points. But yeah, Saturday was a blip for them. It was, you know, and as I say, I think Liverpool this season under Slot, they're looking good so far in the early, you know, games we've seen from them, and I think things look good for a solid season for them. Maybe pick up a trophy, who knows? And as I say, I think a comfortable top 4 spot for them. And listen, this is going to go 1 of 2 ways, boys. It really is. I could be sitting here after Christmas and saying, right, I got that spot on, and you boys can be saying, Jack, you know, fair play, you got that right. Or on the flip side, you boys could be like, Jack, you want to rewind back to September when you said this, about this, about this. But as I say, with games like that against Nottingham Forest, boys, you look at Arsenal the last couple of seasons, they've dropped points. I think, was it Arsenal last season, they had a draw or something at West Ham in like March or April, and whenever they didn't, you know, go on then to win the league in May, you know, a lot of them look back at that game, and games like that in the season where they maybe got draws where they should have had, you know, a win, and you really look back on that as obviously 2 points dropped, the points that in the end pretty much cost you the league, you know. But the standard of the Premier League now, boys, is, yeah, it's insane. The competitive levels are mad, and as I say, you nearly need to be there on perfect to win the league, man, every single year. And as I say, City have been that the last 4 out of 5 seasons with their 4 league titles. But I just think with Arsenal, massive win yesterday against Spurs. I mean, they go on, didn't need to play anywhere near their best, but you know, you go into that game, whether you're Ange Postecoglou or Mikel Arteta, with your respective sides, you go into that game, you know, and it's a bit like, you know, when Liverpool faced us 3 weeks ago before the break, you know. Slot's not going into that game thinking we need to play our best here. He knows he knows he's away from home at Old Trafford, get the result, right? It's a rivalry, you know, and the same with the North London derby. You know, derbies, rivalries, you know, form goes out the window a lot of the time because the players are up for it, you know, physically and mentally anyway. So it's all about, you know, on the day, you know, who can get the most out of the squad, man. And as I say, Arsenal, they're a very, very mature squad now. And you'd expect them to be that way because Mikel Arteta's been there for many years now. You know, he's built up this experience and he's built his squad in many ways. And just their constant improvement season on season. And listen, you can always call Arsenal bottlers, so I can still call them that because they haven't won anything yet, right? And that's always going to be the full stop, you know. Have they won anything? No. This time next year, will we be saying that? Well, I've Arsenal this season tipped as my winners to win the league. But as I say, I think after Christmas, boys, I can see it going into that two-team title race. As I say, Liverpool this season, I think they're going to have a good year. No doubt about that. I think for me, as a Manchester United fan, I think we're in real trouble to get top 4 to Spire win at the weekend. We're in real trouble, and we know that anyway. I think Liverpool this season, they look good for top 4, definitely. A comfortable top 4 for them. I think 3rd for them. But, yeah, I just think they lost the weekend. It's not season end or anything, of course not. People go, you always see these comments on social media, you know, and it's probably a little bit of, it's more banter than actual people talking real sense anyway. We know that, you know, people, after a game, people are always just going to be saying, you know, oh, that's the bottle of the league, whatever else, right? We're 4 games in. But as I say, it's games like that where I just think Liverpool are a little bit behind the curve between where they are and where City and Arsenal. I just think City and Arsenal have that little bit extra, and yeah, I don't think City and Arsenal will be dropping points to Nottingham Forest. So, but as I say, boys, we will see what happens in the upcoming games, you know, into the Christmas break. It's not too far away, man. We'll have like 7 or 8 league games in a month for each team. That's when it really gets crazy. And then obviously into the new year, man, in January, February, what's the league table going to be looking like at that point? As I say, going off previous years, boys, it's mad how competitive this league is, and you feel like any little, like even as I say, Arsenal yesterday, you know, most other years they would have took a point, you know, away at Tottenham in the London derby, but you know, they now know that no, you gotta go and win that game because of how perfect City are. You gotta go and win that game, and they showed that on Sunday. You know, they showed that definitely. They showed that yesterday because they played scrappy. They didn't play their fluid Arsenal football they usually do, but they didn't need to. It's a good away performance, defended well, you know, hitting the break, created a few chances, and obviously got the goal through Gabriel, which obviously is a big problem for Tottenham on corners and set pieces in general. They're not particularly strong there. Big weakness for Ange Postecoglou. He needs to sort it out. But yeah, Arsenal took advantage. Gabriel, good header, straight down the middle of the goal. 1-0 Arsenal, and the game is there, man. So City obviously had a couple win. Haaland, despite going down early on with the whistle goal, City come back. Haaland scores 2, and obviously he's super clinical. 2 great goals again, and City are riding high at the top of the league, man. So, but yeah, boys, that's why I wanted to say at the start of the video to give a little bit of context there for what this video is about, rather than, you know, just reading the title and going, what the hell's Jack on about? You know what I'm saying? I just think later on the season, games like that where Liverpool drop points to Forest, you know, lose the game, you're going to come back to regret that, you know, if they really do want to be in the title race. I think, just as I say, Arsenal and City are levels above at this point in time. But listen, Slot's first season, so he's got to adapt to the league. His team, so far, I think it's been a pretty smooth transition for Slot into Liverpool. You know, obviously it helps with, you know, he's got a similar style of play to Klopp, not exactly the same, but similar. Obviously he inherited a very, you know, good squad from Klopp as well. So it's a very interesting weekend of Premier League football again, boys. It was a good weekend for my team, Manchester United, as well. We got the win, obviously fighting for top 4, but we're not even gonna think about that now. It's just literally game by game we're taking it. But for the top 3 at the minute, which is obviously Arsenal, City, Liverpool, but I think certainly in the new year, boys, as I say, yeah, maybe becomes a 2-team title race, man. But I want to know your boys' thoughts. Drop it down in the comments. Let me know. What do you think of the Premier League this year? Do give me your, obviously we've done our predictions a few weeks ago, but after we've seen, you know, the first 4 games for each team, drop your comments in, man. What do you see with these teams? Do you think Liverpool, because Liverpool are the outsider this year, you know? Most people predict either City or Arsenal to win the league. Liverpool are, you know, certainly up there, and some people do predict them to win the league, which would be crazy for Slot in his first season, by the way. But let me know if you think that way, of course. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and listen, Liverpool, don't write them out. Do not write them out. I'm certainly not going to do that, man. As I say, they're the 3 points behind City right now. You know, Arsenal beat City next week. I don't know who Liverpool have got, but then it's back to level terms again. You know, everyone's on 12 points pretty much, and Arsenal will be in 13. So yeah, in conclusion, boys, today's video, as I say, I just want your boys' thoughts on it, man. Do you see the league veering into a 2-team title race, maybe after Christmas? I think it's definitely a topic of conversation. Certainly not going to judge Liverpool on one performance. Certainly not one loss. Anyone can lose Nottingham Forest, you know. Listen, Premier League is unpredictable at times. You can be a strong team and lose to a weaker team in any game, you know, because that's the strength of the league. There's, you know, you can't have any off days because any Premier League team will punish you, and that's what Forest did. So yeah, certainly not going to judge Liverpool on that on one game or anything, but I just think the way they lost that game, Liverpool, and the way Arsenal were able to win against Spurs shows a little bit of the difference, and why I think that Arsenal and City will be kind of veer off in their own way in those top 2 places fighting for the league title maybe come early January early February time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, boys. As I say, drop a like on the video, really helps the video out. And of course, if you're new around the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us, man. I'd really appreciate that. I really do appreciate all your boys supporting the channel. It means the world, man. And I think we're about to hit 350 subscribers as well, which is amazing. So keep the support rolling up. As I say, your comments down below, I'm going to be reading them to get them in. And of course, I'll catch you boys in the next one.